The idea of convincing black people from outside Africa, more especially those who are descendants of black people who were sold into slavery, is and has been one of the smartest moves Ghana has come up with. The move consists of the most popular strategies known as the year of return and another strategy known as beyond the return, which are to those which have been in place, all which have encouraged over 5,000 diasporans from especially the Caribbean and North American countries. The majority of these are permanent settlers in Ghana, most especially in the capital city of Accra, and others are visitors who spend most of their time in Ghana, adding to a number of celebrities who have made headlines, being seen carrying out a number of activities in Ghana concerning a number of events in which they perform, and other activities such as touring the country and setting up a number of projects. The government of Ghana says that the campaign has injected over $1.9 billion into the economy. Now the questions come in. How are all these black Americans or African Americans and black Caribbeans have and are still being convinced to come and make Ghana their new home and a place to visit frequently? Links between black diasporans, especially black Americans, and Ghana are looked at back in history, where a number of popular civil rights activists came to Ghana in 1950s and 60s during the presidency of revolutionary leader Kwame Nkrumah. These include Martin Luther King Jr., who traveled to Ghana to celebrate Ghana's defeat of colonization and gaining independence from British imperialists in 1957. American sociologist William Edward Du Bois, who spent his last years of life in Ghana from 1961, died in 1963, aged 95, and was buried in Ghana. Today, the W.E.B. Du Bois Memorial Center for Pan-African Culture in Accra honors his legacy. Also, activists Malcom X and writer Maya Angelou worked in Ghana during the presidency of Kwame Nkrumah. All those activists were crucial pioneers of Africa diasporans' interest in moving to Ghana and call it their new home. Since 1992, a project known as Biannual Pan-African Historical Theatre Project, now known as PANAFEST, has welcomed African Americans and others in the African diaspora to Ghana. The project or festival promotes friendship between Ghana and African diasporans through performances and work in theater, drama, music, and poetry, among others. The law of right of abode was introduced in 2000 to allow people of African descent to apply and be granted the right to stay in Ghana. The Foreign Affairs Ministry of Ghana consists of Diaspora Affairs Bureau, putting emphasis on achieving development and investment goals between various government agencies and Ghanaian diaspora. By 2015, Ghana had received a total of over 3,000 people of African descent coming to settle and call Ghana their new home. In 2018, Ghana's President Nana Akufo Addo in September in Washington, D.C. for Africans in the diaspora to unite with Africans. In 2019, the popular strategy known as the Year of Return was launched in Ghana, encouraging more black people from most especially America and Caribbean to come and either visit Ghana or settle there permanently. 2019 was symbolic as it commemorated 400 years since the first enslaved Africans landed in Jamestown, Virginia in the US. Ever since it was launched, in Ghana, over 2,000 Black and Caribbean Americans have settled in Ghana and calling it their new home. Beyond the Return is another strategy or project Ghana has put in place, which is under the theme A Decade of African Renaissance 2020 to 2030 to encourage further engagement between Ghana and Africans in the diaspora. As Ghana has put in place a number of strategies convincing people of African descent from outside Africa to settle, especially in Ghana, there are a number of reasons these people are basing on in order to come and settle in Ghana. People of African descent, especially in the United States, are feeling tired of the racism happening in this country, as they say, when they reach Ghana. According to World Population Review, the United States has the highest incarceration rate in the world. The US is ranked 65th in safety and 69th in racial equality. Other Africans in the diaspora who are of African descent are coming to Ghana because of business reasons. As recently, British actor Edris Elba came to Ghana to talk about starting a film studio in the country, which will be focusing on African actors on the continent. As a number of slaves who were taken from Africa mostly came from West Africa, and Ghana being the most important area where most of these slaves were obtained from, is of no doubt that these African Americans and other people of African descent are choosing Ghana as their new home of settlement. With all efforts nations such as the US and others have put in place concerning blacks' well-being in those nations, the incentives from African countries such as Ghana are pushing them strongly to come and settle on the African continent, most especially in Ghana, which is the leader of pushing them to do so. As all these people of African descent continue to settle in Ghana, a question of how Ghanaian government is managing this strategy comes in. How Ghanaian government has created a suitable environment for these people to bring their new skills, talents, and American style of entrepreneurism. Yes, few years back, the government said it would allocate about 500 acres of land for blacks moving to Ghana. Ghanaian government also assured facilitation of citizenship for those who are willing to become Ghanaians, which means that the two parties are gaining much from each other. All these strategies are showing that Ghana is having a brighter future. We don't know how many people of African descent will have been settled in Ghana by 2030 and what the US government will do about this issue. And even other nations from the Caribbean